What's everybody, Flames8 here, playing more Deadly Premonition 2. We are here at the crime scene, ready to investigate some crimes, but first we have more important things to do. Let's do Shreveport. I think the Lafayette is the best rock, but... once they start getting small, it's hard to time it well. I can imagine that's kind of the point, but... I want everyone to know that. I'm munching on some carrots. I'm sorry if it gets crunchy. Easy there, Patty. You distracted me. Alright. One more. Let's try to get to 10. Oh, I think the brokerage is pretty bad, but we'll try it. We got to 10. I'll take it. Yay, we got a doll. Is that a pre-made thing, or do I still have to make it into something? That'd be handy. I don't like that you have to go all the way back to Ursula Frida to make your charms. Anyways. Zach, it seems we can't get in. Surrounded by some sort of evil tape. Oh. I guess just open from the back. Oh, and on the side here. That's a weird way to keep people out. Anyways, let's do some inspecting. Inspection start.
These bridge beams have a very unique shape to them. One straight support in the center, reinforced by V-shaped columns coming up diagonally from the sides.
Triangles, man.
Did this bridge always look like this?
Oh, shoot. No, that's the upside down peace sign. That's bad.
Oh well, I'm sure it has nothing to do with this case.
Wow.
Let's move on with the inspection, Zach.
Dang, that is clever little just dropping in the imagery there. That's spooky. Let's look at this flat stone.
There's a flat, evenly weighted stone here. I bet we could use this to score an amazing stone
I was
skipping
about to
record.
say, why don't we just pull that on
Let's
over?
give it a try whenever we get
Oh,
some
well, that's
downtime.
actually what it is.
For now, we need to focus on this investigation, Zach.
Oh, but he's not picking it up, though. Cut grass.
The growth is all missing from this particular section. It wasn't just cutaway. She used fire to burn it out. Everything was planned so meticulously, as if she wanted to show this altar to someone. That's why Chuck ended up discovering it.
Sorry, checking recording as usual.
This altar is covered in burn marks, but there's hardly any residue left. There's no way for me to tell what was burned here. I could send it home for analysis, but is that really necessary?
No need to analyze the crime scene. It's fine.
It'll just end up giving Abrahams more busy work. More importantly, Zach, someone who knew how to manipulate fire was behind all this. In other words, these roots prove that Lena was here. And that's enough for me.
To be fair, we've encountered a relatively small amount of people in this town, and a considerably large proportion of them, it's currently just one, but again, was able to control fire. I feel like we should, I agree with the deduction generally, but like being able to control fire is such a wild thing. Like, if that runs in the family, maybe there's some other people that can control fire. I don't know if we can just go ahead and assume, yeah, Lena was the only person who can control fire.
Zach, this
I don't
is
think we have enough evidence to, like, say that for sure.
Among all the different footprints here are a set made from engineer boots. Yes, I know. He probably only made them when he came to inspect the scene. I'm sure that Patty and I left our own set of prints here too. But how do you explain the set that's inside the yellow tape? There's some decomposing cloth here. We saw the same type of cloth at the sugarcane plantation. They must have used that cloth when they transported Lisa's body.
It's a pretty small little bag there.
Who cares about mundane evidence like that?
Good lord.
This isn't a case that can be solved by gathering the kind of evidence we need to submit to a court.
That doesn't effing matter.
After Lise Clarkson was murdered, her body was put back together here, just like how Galena's body was dismembered, then rearranged within the holding cell. Lena Doman and PJ's bodies were also blown to pieces in the end.
Okay, but it's not like we rearranged their bodies.
Perhaps that's the nature of the curse that's taken hold of
their
the Clarksons.
bodies just get torn to bits?
What do you think, Zach?
No.
Is there any significance to these similarities?
Or the first two, yes. I think PJ and Lena exploding is probably just a coincidence. Wait, no, no, we gotta look at the red seeds! Like, the most pivotal aspect of Deadly Premonition 1, the thing literally tying all these serial killings together, I assumed I would leave that for the end, but no, I guess York doesn't care about the red seeds this time around.
Hey! FBI! What the hell you doing back here?
I was gonna look at the red seeds, but I guess I'm done here. I got paid $55, so the FBI says I'm done with the inspection. Good lord, are you serious? I missed down the red seeds?
Did you notice anything strange before your daddy went missing? Did he seem different from usual, or say things that didn't make sense?
Nope. He was the same as always. We talked a lot. I reckon he was in a better mood than usual. Almost even too talkative.
Zach, she's putting on a strong face, but it's clear that she's very worried. Let's try and cheer her up a bit. What's the best thing to say in times like these?
You don't need to worry about me, Agent York. Let's just focus on the work we have left to do.
Unfortunately, it looks like your parents disappearing is connected with this case somehow.
Yeah, I know.
Melvin seems to love you so much. It's hard for me to believe he would just disappear and leave you all alone. Something must be afoot here. I wish I could tell you I'm sure they're okay, even without any evidence. But I hate lies, Patty. I can't guarantee that they're safe. That's my honest opinion.
I'm trying to prepare myself for it, but I want to hope that they're okay.
Of course. Zach and I feel the same way, but if you happen to think of anything that might help, please let me know. Even the tiniest piece of information could end up coming in handy.
Yeah, I understand. But I really don't know anything. I just feel like I know that Mama's okay somehow.
Meaning?
Even when we're apart, I can always tell how my mama's feeling. You know, like how twins can sense each other's feelings? But that's it. I can't tell where she is or what she's doing. Besides, I'm just a kid. Can't really trust what I'm saying, can you?
Zach, it seems like she and her mother possess some kind of secret bond, but we shouldn't try to force it out of her. Yes, you're exactly right. Let's just keep our eyes on her for now.
That's such an adult way of handling that. I really appreciate of not telling her, oh, I'm sure they'll be fine. Like, he probably could have phrased it a little bit more, like, in a comforting way of just, like, we're gonna try our best to make sure they're okay. But, like, I really appreciate him not just saying, oh, they'll be okay. That's a very mature way of handling it, and Patty's clearly mature enough to know that, like, she would be able to know he was lying if he did say that in the first place. So I really like that conversation.
You already solved the case, yeah? So go on! Get your ass out of town!
No.
Why do you think I solved the case?
Shoot! Exactly how stupid are you, FBI? This is Luke Carley, remember? Every fella in town already knows that Professor Orr's the one behind all this shit.
Hey, Chuck. Can you see the altar from there?
I'd see the whole damn thing. Along with your stupid ass standing there, trying to act all smart and shit.
You told me that the poacher's boat you were chasing disappeared around this area, correct?
Yeah, that's what I said, all right. What, you forget already? If you're just gonna waste our tax dollars out here, least you can do is catch them goddamn poachers.
That's kind of what I'm doing, presumably.
Fucking FBI, go and make yourself useful for once in your damn life.
Chuck, we don't chase down fishing boats. Unless it's a terrorist boat that plans to overthrow our government, that is.
Then stop acting all leery, like I ain't being truthful or whatever. I'm busy too, you know. So long, FBI.
I was really hoping we get the animation of him just slowly pulling away.
Zach, he just taught us what the true purpose of this altar is. It was built here so that the ritual could be watched from a boat in the bayou.
What do you mean? They could have just walked out here. There's no reason why they had to watch it from a boat.
The goddess of fertility, Patty.
So what I'm gathering from this is that Candy is our big bad, or like maybe the George of the game. I think I said something akin to that last time, but this is confirming it because we've seen that she's on the boat, and the altar was meant to be seen from the boat, so presumably from that boat. Effing chill your engines, dude. Are you still? Why is it so loud? It sounds like it's the engine still around, but maybe not.
The goddess of fertility. A fine name indeed. So much blood has been shed, yet you remain in this town. Surely you know why.
Of course I do, Hoongan. My work here isn't finished yet. You know, I could really use one of your oracles right now.
You're more fun than I thought. Here's the oracle you ask for. Listen with your heart. Speak to the 17 comrades who saw the birth of New Orleans.
Gonna guess graveyard.
Feel the holy Allah.
Allah is a kind of pot, I think. Don't know that one.
The giant lady's finger points down toward your goal, the entrance to the forbidden.
Don't know that one.
Poetic and graceful as ever, Hoongan. Hoongan's oracles are leading us
out
toward the
our,
core
map.
of this case. That's the one thing I'm sure of. But don't misunderstand, Zach. I'm not blindly following him.
I'm just going exactly where he tells me
I
to.
only follow my intuition. Metaphysical offender profiling. That's all there is to it.
Oracle decryption start. Let's decrypt this oracle that we're not
The
blindly
17
following.
comrades must refer to some area that has 17 of the same thing in it. We may need to use history to figure this one out.
Oh wait, maybe
After
it's
all, we need to
Memorial
find
Oak
someone
Street.
or
Maybe it's the
something
oak trees.
that saw the birth of New Orleans. And they can't just round up every last old person in town. Somewhere, there are 17 comrades who've survived for a very long time.
Probably this.
That's it.
Yeah.
The French established the colony of La Nouvelle-Orléans in 1718, just about 300 years ago. The only 17 comrades that would have been around back then are the 300-year-old oak trees along this road, a majestic road lined by oak trees. Come on, let's go ask these sages of Lucare for some help on our investigation. Zach, the Holy Allah is a shockingly simple metaphor, especially considering the quality of the oracles we've received thus far. It seems as if Hoongan's poetic muse is finally running dry. The great thing about us Americans is that we can recreate our homeland anywhere. We're happy to transport crunchy bacon across the deserts of Africa if we need to. That's what it means to be American, and this Holy Allah is just another example of that. From the early days of the frontier era, they've been helping us Americans be what we've always meant to be. Hey Zach, if the Holy Allah needs to be filled, things must be dire. Imagine what would happen if the Holy Allah
I
would
guess
run
it's the
dry.
water tower.
Townspeople would instantly face multiple serious problems. That's it. I never doubted you, Zach.
I love how, like, if you take longer, he keeps giving more and more hints.
The Holy Allah refers to a water tower, specifically that water tower with its Clarkson family crest. It must be hiding some sort of clue. Let's fill the Allah and see what it yields.
Oracle decryption complete. I guess we're just not going to care about that second part.
Zach, what do you think the giant lady's finger is?
I don't know, but I guess it's not part of this Oracle decryption.
I'm at a loss. I never thought one of Hoongan's childish riddles would force me to think so hard. But, oh well. I'm sure that as we deal with the rest of the Oracle, it'll reveal itself to us.
What? Is there something on my face?
Listen carefully, Patricia. As my skilled assistant, I trust you a great deal. So I want you to answer me honestly.
Answer what?
Do you have any idea where Melvin might have gone?
No.
He didn't seem to be acting or talking differently than usual?
No. I don't think so.
Okay, I believe your words.
But not
Zach,
your
we
heart.
have a lot of work to do. It feels like we're finally approaching the climax here.
Now, in Deadly Premonition 2, when we were approaching what York thought was the climax, it was like the third to last boss, and there was still like 30% of the game to get through. So I wouldn't quite trust like that, but things are moving along for sure. Anyways, let's check out the oak trees, because that's basically on the way to the water tower.
So, what other movies have you seen on that sci-fi
This is
movie
already a
channel?
repeat.
What? That
Oh, maybe
question
it's not.
again?
What did I tell you? In this country, all dialogues.
Okay, I'll answer it. I need to think of a movie that Schwarzenegger wasn't in. Oh, okay, I got one. It's a film about people who travel around the world in 80 days. I think it was a remake of an older one. They went to a bunch of different countries, and there was
I
tons
really
of
hope
CG,
York
so it was
comes
fun
up with
to
a movie
watch.
that is not
It starred some kung fu
Around the
guy
World in 80
and a
Days.
British man. Sorry, but they didn't ask your beloved Arnold S. to be in this one.
Around the World in 80 Days.
Okay, alright.
2004.
I watched that in
Directed
theaters,
by
and I have
Frank
almost
Herbst,
no memory
starring
of it.
Jackie Chan and Steve Coogan.
I remember
Unfortunately,
that
Patty,
Jackie Chan was in it. I
appears
didn't
that you
remember that it
watch
was
this
Steve
film
Coogan.
closely enough.
I did too.
Then you must have been far too distracted. He's in it, Patty.
In it? Who is? Wait, no, it can't be.
That's right. Arnold S. is in that movie.
You're lying. There's no way. I mean, he was already governor of California by the time that movie came out.
You're exactly right. In October of 2003, he became the new governor of California, but he was still able to appear in the film since it was in a small enough capacity not to interfere with his governing duties. You can find him in the Istanbul segment.
What? I sort of remember the Istanbul part, but the prince? The prince with the crazy hairdo?
That's right. He played Prince Happy, a romantic with long hair, skilled at telling stories and playing the guitar. He was so in character. Even I didn't recognize him at first glance. Flawless makeup, hairstyling, costume design, and impeccable acting. I was speechless. I believe that entering the political world only allowed him to further widen his acting repertoire. His acting was always so realistic and full of presence.
Man, I
Then
bet York and
he
Zach
went
really
and
loved
added
that.
elaborate technique on top of it.
What was that movie that was
Patty, I'm now convinced
Schwarzenegger
that
and
you've
Jackie
been seduced
Chan,
by his charm without
but
even
both of
realizing.
them were only in it for
That's
like
why
10
you've
minutes?
been unconsciously seeking out films that he appears
really
in.
bad.
You don't need to feel embarrassed.
I didn't
It's
see
a
it,
perfectly
but
natural
I
phenomenon.
know.
Yeah. Let's just get back to the investigation. Come on, please.
You're right, Patty. This is no time for idle chatter. We have two important goals now. Solving this case and finding your daddy. Let's get back to work. No more chit-chat. You heard her, Zach. We need you to focus as well.
Yeah. I love, like, the almost creepiness of, like, Patty's trying so hard to think of a film that doesn't have Arnold in it. And she finally comes up with one, and York's like, no, he's there too. Wonderful. Yeah, the only line I remember is very impactful for me is at one point Steve Coogan is getting incredibly annoyed and then he goes into his. Oh wait, no, I remember two things. At one point, he goes into his own little personal cabin, and he goes, "Dear God, please kill me." And everyone in the audience laughed, but I was so young, I was like, "That's not funny. What if God kills him? That wouldn't be funny, would it?" And like, I legitimately went through I didn't understand like gallows humor at that point in time, and I was legitimately worried it would become part of the plot that God would be like, "Hey, you told me to kill you, so I'm gonna kill you," and he'd be like, "No, don't kill me." That is not actually an important part of the plot of Around the World in 80 Days, but I thought it might be. And then the other thing, spoiler alert for Around the World in 80 Days, they're making it, and I forget why, but there is some villain who's like, they're not gonna make it in 80 days. And he's like, I don't know, he probably is like gonna take their land or something. He was some baron lord. And they're like almost back to where they're going, and they're racing against the clock, and then they miss it by like a couple minutes, and it's like, oh no, we didn't make it. And then they think about it for a second, and then they're like, wait, like daylight savings time or like a leap year or something like that, they had an extra amount of time that they hadn't accounted for, and they're like, aha, we did it after all. I forget if they had another full day or another full hour, but it was something like that. And yeah, through gimmicks, it turns out that they did it after all. And the evil Baron Lord was defeated once and for all, I guess. I really could not for the life of me tell you how they managed to work a primary antagonist into the plot of Around the World in 80 Days, which revolves around, let's try to get around the world in 80 days. But they did.
So you clearly love TV shows, but what about movies?
Movies? We don't even have a movie theater around here.
Pretty sure we've
So I
heard
can
this
only
one
watch
plenty
what I
of times
managed to catch
before.
on TV.
Like what?
For some reason, the only
Yep, alright. Let's do some skateboarding. Next big loading screen, I'm gonna look that one up. I would imagine that Arnold Schwarzenegger's portrayal of Prince Kapi of Istanbul may not have aged perfectly, but we'll see. You know what's a little bit sad about Deadly Premonition 2 in comparison to 1 is I feel like there are far less wacky characters. Like, one of my favorite scenes and sequences is going to the town hall, telling everyone about the murder, and then interviewing everyone one by one. And we really don't have anything like that. We have, like, 4 or 5 main characters and then 4 or 5 side characters, and it feels like that's pretty much it. And then the evil family. We just have all the Clarksons, and then yeah, just a small assortment of other folks, which is kind of a bummer because part of the fun Deadly Premonition 1 was like, it could be any of these people. It probably won't be this random lady who carries a hot pot around with her all day, but it might be. Like, I don't know. Also, far less Twin Peaksy in that way. But it's a good thing Deadly Premonition 1 was not trying to be like Twin Peaks in any way at all. So it makes sense that they didn't do it in the sequel either. I guess York is extremely confident in this one out of the 17 trees that this is the one he needs to look at. But let's look.
Zach, do you sense that? These trees have watched over this land for the past 300 years. Long before the Clarksons built up their town, these trees were here. If they could speak, I wonder what they'd have to say about this case. Has there always been a different number of trees on each side?
If there were 17, probably York.
Yeah. I heard that by the time our town came along, there were only 17 left.
Okay. Wait, I'm sorry. Is this a stump of a 300-year-old tree that was cut down 300 years ago? Because that stump is not sticking around. I'm sorry. That's not how it works.
A general from the South might have cut one down during the Civil War.
Intriguing, Patty. Why did he cut one down?
I don't know. Folks say he planted a red tree in its place.
Are you
I don't know if that's true or
telling
not,
me the Confederacy was into the red trees back in the Civil War? That checks out. Yeah, that's evil enough. That fits the MO.
Zach, the shape of these seeds. They look just like the ones we saw at Lisa's altar.
Sure wish we could have inspected the seeds, but I was saving those for last because I figured they would weirdly, for some reason, be important in some way.
Patty, it appears that legend about the red tree wasn't a total lie. The first tree is withered and gone, but the shells from its seeds remain. Perhaps that red tree left some descendants somewhere else.
Dalmatian! That's just flat out Willie, isn't it?
Zach, he seems to know something that we don't. Doesn't it seem like he's trying to guide us somewhere?
What? What's going on?
Change of plans, Patty.
I feel like someone's locked in a clock tower, so we'll have to just run around for like 30 minutes trying to get there.
Let's go on a little stroll with that Dalmatian.